Welcome to this presentation on CalTime for Supervisors of Exempt Employees. During this video, we will discuss how supervisors use CalTime to manage the timekeeping records of their exempt staff. Over the course of this video, we will focus on 4 topics. We'll start with how supervisors review and approve time cards. Then we will learn how to adjust errors in an employee's leave. Next, we will demonstrate how to use the QuickFind tool. And finally, we will wrap up by showing you how to run an Accrual Detail Report. Reviewing and approving time cards. Throughout this video, we will view CalTime from the perspective of Christy Frost, a fictitious supervisor on campus. This morning, Christy decides to review and approve the time cards of her staff. She knows university policy requires her to complete this task between the 2nd and the 5th of each month. Please note that if the 5th of the month falls on a weekend or holiday, time cards will have to be approved by the last working day prior to the 5th. Let's review and approve some time cards from Christy's staff. In the My Genies section of the home page, select the link labeled Exempt Leave Usage Approval. This page displays Christy's staff. By default, this page is sorted by employee name. However, users can sort this page by any of the columns. For example, to sort the page by title code, click the header text in the title code column. This page is now sorted by title code in ascending order. To sort in descending order, click the header text again. To return to the original sort, the one by employee name, click the refresh button. The check marks in the employee approval column indicate that these employees approved their own time card and the time card is awaiting supervisor approval. Keep in mind that supervisors should only approve the records marked with a check. Supervisors often like to sort this page according to the employee approval column. That way the pre-approved time cards are grouped together. Let's go ahead and do this. To reverse the direction of the sort and put the pre-approved time cards at the top of the list, click the header text again. Now let's review these pre-approved time cards. First, select Ed Baylor. To select additional names, hold down the Control button on your keyboard and simultaneously click the other employee names. In this example, we will also select Paul Lee. Once the selections are made, click the time card link at the top of the page. The full time card of the first of our 2 selections appears, the time card of Ed Baylor. To jump back and forth among the selected records, use the arrow buttons at the top. For example, click the right arrow to advance to Paul Lee's time card. Click the left arrow button to go back to Ed Baylor's time card. If Christy spots an error, she should contact Ed and ask him to correct his time card and resubmit it for approval. Fortunately, everything checks out and Christy can go ahead and approve this time card. Click the Approve button. Ed's time card now reflects Christy's approval. Now Christy can advance to Paul's time card. Click the right arrow. Paul's time card checks out fine as well, so Christy approves it. Once all the selected time cards are inspected, Christy returns to the home screen for her next task. Now let's learn how to adjust an employee's leave. Employees should correct their own time card rather than have a supervisor make the correction for them. However, there may be times when a supervisor must make the adjustment on behalf of the employee. If this is the case, the supervisor should have written permission from the employee to make the change. Keep in mind that supervisors can only adjust time cards that are not yet approved by the timekeeper. Once the timekeeper signs off on a time card record, then only the timekeeper can make further adjustments. In this example, Christy has written permission from Ed Baylor to change his time card. Click the Exempt Leave Usage Approval link and select Ed's time card. You may notice that Ed's record has the number 1 in the supervisor approval column. This indicates that a supervisor approved this time card. To make any changes to this time card, the supervisor must first remove this approval. To do this, click the Select an Action drop-down arrow. Now select Remove Approval. A pop-up message requests confirmation of this action. Click OK. You may notice that Ed's record still has a 1 in the supervisor approval column. This page simply needs to be refreshed. Click the Refresh button to update the data on this page. As you can see, the 1 is now removed. Now, Christy brings up Ed's time card. Christy plans to make 3 changes. First, she will add a vacation day to May 5th. Then, she will convert the May 2nd entry from a vacation leave to a sick leave. And finally, she will remove the vacation day listed on May 1st completely. To add a vacation day to May 5th, first click the Pay Code field drop-down arrow. Select Vacation Leave Taken. Now enter the number of hours of leave. Be aware that exempt employees enter leave in full day increments. In other words, depending on the employee's work shift, leave is entered in increments of either 8, 10, or 12 hours. Ed works a standard 8-hour shift, so Christy enters 8 into the amount field. Now to tackle the second item, changing the May 2nd leave from vacation leave taken to sick leave taken. This is easy. Just click the Pay Code field and change the selection to sick leave taken. Next, change the number of hours from 7 to 8. 7 hours was incorrect anyway, since, as we just mentioned, leave must be entered according to the number of hours of the employee's full shift. We'll go ahead and enter 8 hours. And finally, Christy now moves on to the third item, completely removing the vacation leave taken entry from May 1st. To do this, go to the Pay Code field and select the blank or white space at the top of the list. Now clear the value in the adjacent amount column. Now save the changes. Christy's last step is to reapprove this time card so that it may be routed to the timekeeper for final processing. Christy can now return to the home page for her next task. Let's now explore the QuickFind function. QuickFind is a search tool built right into CalTime that helps supervisors locate the records of their own staff. To launch QuickFind, go to the My Genies section of the home page and click the QuickFind link. QuickFind defaults with the current pay period selected. If desired, change the time period using the drop-down arrow. For this demonstration, Christy changes the time period from the current pay period to a date range, May 1st through today. For this example, we will assume today's date is June 15th. We'll use the calendar icon to change the beginning date of the range. Use the arrows in the pop-up calendar to jump forward and back among months or years. In this example, Christy goes back just 1 month, to May 2014, and selects May 1st. There is no need to change the end date of this range since it is already populated with today's date. Click the Apply button to lock in this date range. Now Christy enters the criteria for her search. She can search by employee ID, last name, or even first name. One especially powerful feature is the ability to use a wildcard character which can be substituted for any letter or number. This greatly increases the flexibility and efficiency of a search. In QuickFind, an asterisk represents the wildcard character. To demonstrate the use of a wildcard, let's bring up all of Christy's staff that have a last name that begins with the letter B. Enter the letter B, followed by an asterisk. Please note that QuickFind is not case sensitive. Click the Find button when you are ready to search the CalTime database. This search resulted in 2 results, Ed Baylor and Lyman Bostock. Let's try another QuickFind search, but this time let's find the employees in Christy's staff for the same range that have a first name that begins with a letter P. We do not care about the spelling of their last name. This search will require the use of 2 wildcard asterisks. type asterisk, comma, space, P, asterisk to search for all the employees that have a first name that begins with a letter P. We found only one record, Paul Lee. Accrual Detail Report. CalTime allows supervisors to build and print many different reports. One of the more popular is the Accrual Detail Report, which displays the accrual leave for the supervisor's staff. To build this report, select the Exempt Leave Usage Approval link. Pick the employees to include in the report. To select the entire staff, click the Select an Action drop-down arrow and pick Select All from the list. But for this report, Christy is only interested in the accrual detail for 2 employees, Ed Baylor and Sherry Odell. Pick their names from this list. Remember to hold down the Control button on your keyboard when selecting multiple employees. Once selected, click the Reports link at the top of the page. The reports listed on the left panel are based on the user's ID, so report selections may vary among users. To get to the Accruals Detail Report, click the plus symbol next to Accruals. This expands the Accruals folder. Now select the Accrual Detail Report. Leave the People field as previously selected employees, since we already selected Ed Baylor and Sherry Odell earlier. For the Time Period field, most supervisors will select the most recent date to obtain the most current accrual levels for their staff. Select Today from the list. Now click the Run Report button. You should make it a habit to immediately click the Refresh Status button when you land on this page. This provides immediate updates on the status of the report as it builds. A green processing animation indicates that the report is currently being compiled. As the report nears completion, the status transitions from waiting to running and finally to complete. When the status displays complete, click the View Report button. The report appears as a PDF. You can hover your mouse near the bottom of the page to display the standard PDF toolbar. Here you can save the report, print it, go to the next page, and so forth. This concludes this video on CalTime for supervisors of exempt employees. For written job aids and other CalTime training information, we encourage you to visit caltime.berkeley.edu/training. Or, if you need additional assistance, feel free to email the CalTime team at caltime@berkeley.edu. Thank you.